Hi, today let us start the first topic of the class 10th in chemistry. It's a chemical reactions and equations. Now, it's a very easy chapter to score. This chapter has a weightage of 5 marks. Firstly, in this chapter, you will learn about chemical reactions, chemical equations, type of chemical reaction, corrosion, rancidity. In chemical reaction, you are going to study about identification of chemical reactions. In chemical equations, writing chemical equations, balancing a chemical equations, and making a chemical equations more informative. And in types of chemical reactions, there are many reactions like combination reaction, displacement reaction, exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction, displacement and decomposition reactions. And in corrosion and rancidity, you will learn effects of corrosion, rancidity, methods to prevent rancidity, and methods to prevent corrosion. Firstly, today let's learn about chemical reactions. Chemical reactions. Again, in our daily life, we come across a variety of changes which may be physical or chemical changes. A physical changes can be easily reversible, but a chemical reaction cannot be reversed easily. For example, for physical reaction, let's take an example. It's a paper. If you burn it, this is a reaction for the chemical reaction. If you burn it, you cannot make it back for the paper, but like a physical reaction you can make milk. If milk heat, then it will become, or it will, then it can be turned into cooler. Milk to curd is an milk to curd is a chemical reaction. All chemical changes are accompanied by a chemical reactions, and these are responsible which the helps the chemical reaction. In this chapter, we will study about the various types of chemical reactions and chemical equations which respect to chemical changes. Chemical reactions. A chemical reaction is a chain in which one or more substance or reactants to form new substance with entirely different properties. The reacting species are known as reactants. If we take the example of sodium and water, if they both react, they will give rise to sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. Now let's take it. You will have Na sodium plus H2O, which gives rise to NaOH plus H2. This is called as, these two are called as reactants, and this is called as product. Let's denote it by P, and this is R. Then how to identification of chemical reactions. A chemical reaction can be identified either of the following observations. Either we can identify the chemical reaction when change in state, evaporation of gas, change in color, formation of precipitate, change in temperature. First one, change in state. Then second one, it's evolution of gas. Evolution of gas. Then we can also, it can be observed by changing color. Color, it can be from the precipitate, formation of precipitate, let denoted by P. Then temperature. Temperature. This all you can denote or observe chemical reactions. You can identify the chemical reactions using the state. Let's give an example to this. State. No, it can be from gaseous liquid state to gaseous. When you are burning the when you are burning actually water, you will get the after heating you will get the water in the formation of gas. Then it is represented change in state from liquid state to gaseous state. For evolution of gas, in last we have given that we have given a we have given a example, sodium plus water gives rise to sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Here hydrogen is evolved. H2 is evolved. So we by this you can notify that the chemical reaction has occurred by changing the color. By changing the color means if you take copper sulfate solution and if you put iron fillings in that, then the light blue or sea blue color of the copper sulfate solution will slightly turn into green color. By this you can also represent that there is a chemical reaction it is going on. Formation of precipitate, if you uh, chalk powder, if you put in water, it will form the precipitate in the bottom of the beaker. So you can take that as an example. Now temperature, if you put calcium oxide in water, if you touch the beaker outside of the outside, then you will feel the heatness in the heatness. By this you can represent that the reaction is going on. Nextly, we will learn about the chemical equation. Chemical equation. A chemical equation is a symbolic representation of a chemical reaction. Symbols are formula of the reaction and products are used for the same. Means the you can use for representing. We are telling that sodium plus water gives rise to sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. You can write this as by representing them in the symbol or formula. Na plus H2O gives rise to NaOH plus H2. See, this is the chemical equation which is called not a word. It's the actually chemical equation. The word equation in is which we will write here. So in place of Na, we will write sodium, and in place of H2O, we will write water. Gives rise to sodium hydroxide plus hydrogen. Chemical Writing a chemical equation. A chemical equation shows a change of reactions to products through an arrow. See this arrow, the direction of the arrow shows the direction of reaction. Direction of reaction means the direction is in this condition the direction is right, because Na plus H2O is reacting and giving the product sodium hydroxide. And now let's learn about the balancing of chemical equation. A balancing of chemical equation is based on the two laws. In 10th, you will have only one law, that is balancing through conservation of mass. Conservation of mass. According to this law, mass can neither be created nor be destroyed during a chemical reaction. Law of law of constant proportion is also there, which you will study in the higher classes. Now there is a method to balance chemical equations. Now let's learn it. It is called as hit and trial method. See how to do is, first step you have to write all the. Now let's take this equation as the example. Now let's write all the equations in the bracket, all the elements. Now for the second step, we have to tabulate it and Without tabulating also you can write it in a simple in right in left hand side how much elements, the atoms of elements and reactants you have, you can write here. And in the product side how much, I will show it, wait. Sodium in reactant side you have one, and here in product side you have one. This is balanced. In hydrogen, if you take hydrogen in reactant side you have two hydrogen, but if you take in product side you have three hydrogen. This is not balanced. To balance this, what we will do is we will put 2 here. It will become 4. So in right hand side it's 4. To make it left hand side we will multiply 2 into 2, it will become 4. So hydrogen is balanced now. After multiplying 2 here, it will become 2 plus 2, here 2 and here 2, it will become 4. Then our resultant is 4. Now let me take off oxygen. Oxygen in the reaction side it's 1. In reactant side it is 2, and in the product side it is 2. It's balanced. Now let's come back to the sodium. In reactant side, in product side it is 2, but in reactant side it is 1. Now let's multiply this into 2. So you have to put here 2. Now we will get a reaction like 2Na plus 2H2O gives rise to 2NaOH plus H2 gas liberated. This is very simple method to balance a chemical reaction. Another reactions are like balancing C2H6 plus O2 gives rise to CO2 plus H2. C2H6 plus O2 gives rise to CO2 plus H2O. After balancing this, you will get a reaction or content like 2C2H6 plus 7O2 gives rise to 4CO2 plus 6H2O. Now check whether it is balanced or unbalanced. In let's take carbon. Carbon in product side it is 4. Reactant side in product side it is 4. It's balanced. Now let's come for hydrogen. Hydrogen it's 6 plus 6 into 2 12. Here also it's 12. Then it's balanced. Then let's come for the turn of oxygen. Here it's 14. Here 2. In product side it's 8 plus 6. 8 plus 6 which is equal to 14. We will get as 14. The law of constant proportion will tell you that the sum of all this means 14 plus 12 plus 4 must be equal to the product sides 4. It's 14. 14 plus 12 plus 14. No, it's correct. This if you get, it's a balanced equation. Now let's go for making a chemical reaction more informative. For making a reaction more informative, we have to apply some unexplained chemical equation shown in the equation. For explaining this, we will use that physical states and substances, reaction and condition, evolution and absorption of energy. First, for evolution of gas, we will write a arrow like this in the bracket and write as G. If the substance, if the element which you will use, if it is in the state of solid, you will write as yes. And if it is yes, solution means which is dissolved in the which is already dissolved in water, you will write as AQ, aqueous solution. If it is in the liquid form without dissolving in any solvent, then you will write as liquid, L, liquid. If it is formation of precipitate, you will write the down arrow mark. If it is evolution, you will write the up arrow marks. Now let's come to types of chemical equation. Types of chemical equation. Firstly, we are going to learn about a combination reaction. A reaction in which two or more reactants combine to form a single product is called combination reaction. For example, let we take that calcium oxide reacts vigorously with water. We all know that. Now, water to form calcium hydroxide, which is called also called as slaked lime. The reaction is highly exothermic, as a lot of heat is produced during the chemical reaction. So let me write the equations. CaO plus H2O, calcium oxide plus water, gives rise to calcium hydroxide plus heat. See here, these two are combining to form calcium hydroxide. This reaction is called combination reaction. Combination reaction also you can give that carbon dioxide plus oxygen. Carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide, and 2H2 plus O2 gives rise to 2H2O, which is water. Hydrogen plus oxygen gives rise to water. You can give it as an example. Then let's go to decomposition reaction. A reaction in which a single reactants break down to form two or more products, it's known as decomposition reaction. It is absolutely opposite of the combination reaction. In combination reaction, we will learn how it combines to combine and form a compound. But here, a compound is going to divide into parts. Like if we take CaCO3, calcium carbonate, if it is heated, it will break down into calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. There are many types of decomposition reactions, like its electrolytic decomposition, photolytic decomposition, and thermal decomposition. Thermal decomposition means actually the decomposition which carries from the production of heat. Then in electrolytic, the breakdown of the compound into two parts using a electric current. Then in photolytic decomposition, the compound will break down using the sunlight or sun energy or solar energy. This is the react. This is example of thermal decomposition. Let's give another example for electric current. Electric current, a very familiar example is 2H2O. Water gives rise to H2 plus O. water, and we pass the current through the water, it will separate out into oxygen and oxygen and hydrogen. This is electric through this is decomposition through electric current. Now let's talk about the photolytic decomposition. Photolytic decomposition means those reactions involve the use of light energy for process of decomposition. When we take silver chloride in exposed to the sunlight, it decomposes to give a silver metal and chlorine gas. 2AgCl, which is called as silver chloride. Silver chloride in the presence of sunlight gives rise to silver metal plus chlorine gas. This is called as our photolytic decomposition. Next, let's go for exothermic or endothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction, the reaction which are accompanied by the evolution of heat, are called exothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction means the where we will get where by because of the production or because of the chemical reaction we will get a heat generated. If it is a beaker, if you put calcium oxide in the water, you will get heat here. If you touch the surface of the beaker, then it will be heated. So it's called as endothermic, not exothermic reactions. We can give example like methane plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide plus water plus heat. Methane CH4 plus 2O2. Oxygen gives rise to CO2 plus H2O plus heat. Where we will get heat, then the product where we will get heat, then it's absolutely we can tell that it's a exothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction is fully opposite of exothermic reaction. Endothermic reaction, the heat is absorbed from the outer surroundings to carry on the reaction. Here in exothermic, the heat radiations will be in the direction of this out of the beaker. But in endo but in endothermic reaction, the direction of the heat will be opposite to the exothermic reaction. It will be inside the beaker. Examples we can give that very good example is photosynthesis, and another example we have that is mercuric oxide plus heat gives rise to mercury plus oxygen. HgO, mercuric oxide, gives rise to, in presence of heat, gives rise to mercury mercury metal plus oxygen with metal plus, you can also take as a magnesium ribbon. When you will burn the magnesium ribbon, you will get a magnesium heat is applied on the or heat is applied on that magnesium string. You can take that also as an example for this. Next, let's go for displacement reaction. There are two types of displacement reactions you will study in 10th: single displacement and double displacement. When displacement, when a more reactive element displaces the less reactive element from its compound, it's called as displacement reaction. Displacement reaction, it's absolutely dependent on the reactivity series. You have to learn the reactivity series. Then let's go for single displacement reaction. Single displacement reaction, it is a type of chemical reaction where an element reacts with a compound and takes the place of another element in that compound, is called single displacement reaction. Very similar and easy example is that if you take the copper sulfate in the beaker which is blue in color, and if you put the iron fillings which is more reactive than the copper metal, the copper metal will the copper will be displaced from the solution, and the solution will be iron sulfate. Take a beaker, fill it with the copper sulfate, CuSO4. Then you place a nail here. Then all the copper metal will come and attach to the iron nail in the brown formations, and the solution will be light green. Let's go for double displacement reaction. The reaction in which two different ions or group of atoms or reactant molecules are displaced by each other is called double displacement reaction. Let's look at an example for this. That is, uh, sodium sulfate plus bromium chloride gives rise to bromium sulfate plus sodium chloride. You will have the common equation for this. The equation is a plus xa plus yb gives rise to xb plus ya. If you apply all the reactions, all the double displacement reaction in this form, the reaction for writing the reaction, it will be very easy for you. Let's look for an example. Sodium sulfate Na2SO4 plus barium chloride BaCl2 gives rise to barium sulfate BaSO4. It's a precipitate. We should arrow mark down, plus 2 NaCl sodium chloride. It's in the form of aqueous solutions, which means it is dissolved in water next. I think you have understood about the double displacement reaction. Now let's go for oxidation and reduction reaction. Oxidation reaction, you can define it as in three ways. It is the process in which oxygen is added to a substance, the process in which hydrogen is removed from a substance, the process when a substance loses electron. The process for this all, let's write for one example for this all. For the first, the process in which oxygen is added to a substance, we can give an example: copper plus oxygen, O2, gives rise to, in the presence of heat, gives rise to CuO, copper oxide. This is the first reaction for the first definition, the process in which oxygen is added to a substance. Now the second one comes, that the process in which hydrogen is removed from a substance, which means, let's take an example: hydrogen sulfate plus oxygen gives rise to sulfur plus hydrogen oxide. 2H2S plus O2 gives rise to 2S plus 2H2O. This comes your reaction for the second definition. For third definition, that is the process in which substance loses electron from the substance. That is, let's take example that, zinc sulfate, zinc, a metal which loses two electrons or one electron. Zinc zinc gives rise to, it loses two electron and it become plus, and gives rise to two electron minus. For reduction also same, you can define it as in the three ways: the process in which oxygen is removed from a substance, the process in which hydrogen is added to a substance, the process in which a substance gains electron. It's opposite to the oxidation reaction. The first For the first definition, let's write an example. Potassium chloride in the presence of heat gives rise to potassium carbonate and oxygen. 2KClO3 potassium chlorate gives rise to, in the presence of heat, gives rise to potassium chloride plus oxygen gas. For the second, it's example of the example of first definition. For the second definition, you can take that the process in which hydrogen is added to a substance. Very good example is a sodium hydroxide. Sodium 2Na plus H2 gives rise to 2NaH. Sodium plus hydrogen gives rise to sodium hydroxide. For the third, you can write that the definition is the process in which a substance gain electron. Let's take the same example of the zinc, then you can understand it very easily. Zinc 2E plus, it's a metal, so it's the sign is plus. It gains 2 electron and forms Zn, which the zinc. Now today's class, let's end it now. Thank you.